Okay. The connection to emotions and health and disease. So there's a lot more awareness of the connection between physical and emotional health. And I see a lot of things being talked about and literature being written about. You can actually look up if you have a problem with a certain organ in your body, which emotion it can be related to. And a lot of this is good to a certain extent to be aware of that, because there's a lot of truth in that. However, whenever there's a conversation about, like, for example, anger causes this problem, that I always want to speak up and say, actually, anger or any emotion doesn't cause the health problem itself. It's not the emotion that does it. It's repressing the emotion. Okay, so the body stores repressed, unacknowledged, unexpressed emotion. So that's very important distinction to make, because often people, especially if you are having health problems, there might be a lot of fears like, oh no, I'm angry and it's poisoning me. If you don't express the anger, if you don't honor it, if you don't find a responsible way to work with it, yes, it could eventually hurt you. But but to be afraid of that anger or that emotion is not going to help you. So the fear of anything inside needs to be addressed as well, and judgment. So how we repress emotion is by being afraid of it and also judging it. Oh, this is bad. What I'm thinking or what I'm feeling is bad. And so that's one way that we repress an experience. Now, even really negative experiences, hate, rage, things like this, you find a way to express it, explore it, and it's not going to harm you or anyone else. In fact, it can be, it often is a way to expand and grow your consciousness and become more aware and even open your heart. Negativity can help you open your heart by working through it. And people who work through their own emotions this way often are less afraid of other people's emotions. There's less judgment. Oh, this person's angry. Oh, you better get away from me. You're angry, you know? So that's a huge benefit to honoring these things besides the health as well. So one thing you could look up, what has been written and researched about the emotions connected to the specific health problems. And that can be a certain way to explore yourself, but it's also, like, I personally don't do things that way, because I would prefer to connect with what's going on inside of me without a biased idea of what it should be. And so that's when the Dalian method comes in for me, and it's so powerful for people who want to access things that are affecting them, but you don't know how, okay? Or you don't know what it is, or how to express it effectively, and how to release it and transform it and gain the consciousness from it. Because you can't sort of access your emotions with your mind. You can't intellectualize it, because that also is a way we repress how we feel, by intellectualizing it, being logical, trying to sort of fit it into something that makes sense. Okay. What else can I say about that? Yeah, so that there's just all these different ways of repressing and not acknowledging how we feel. So giving yourself space to explore how you feel is so important on a regular basis. And then when often people lose their temper, or they have like a short fuse, often it's not because they're so out of control, it's they're trying so hard to control, and it just like blows open. So it's about letting go of control of yourself, and then it doesn't have to build up to be an explosion. Okay, So it's important to understand that your emotions aren't going to harm you on their own. It's just about finding a way so that you're not repressing the emotion, but you're also not projecting it onto people, which creates harm because it wounds your relationship and hurts other people. So it's about navigating it with responsibility as well. And so these videos that I've been doing, they're on just different ways that we might be afraid of something, ultimately something inside of us, and how different ideas or how we internalize those ideas or practices may actually be perpetuating that fear as well. And I link more information to the approaches that I've used, including the Dalian method, if you're watching this in the YouTube. It's in the YouTube description box. Thanks. Be brave and face yourself.